Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Uh, I am Dr. Rafaqat Hussain Arai. I am working as Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science, Shah Abdul Latif University, Khairpur, Pakistan. This is our course, Fundamentals of Information Technology. That is part 2. As you know, both CS and IT students of our department know that we have already covered the part 1 in our on-campus classes, but after that, due to this pandemic situation across the world, that is COVID-19, there was a big pause in our classes, but we will resume our classes as online classes from now on, and we will try to cover the remaining courses as online classes, inshallah. So let's start. So this was our last topic, Internet and World Wide Web, where we have left our on-campus classes. So we will resume from this topic. And let me tell you one thing, that I will upload these lectures on my YouTube channel. The link of this YouTube channel will be shared on our official WhatsApp group of both CS and IT classes. Not only the link of these video lectures will be shared on the said WhatsApp group, but I will also share all the other materials like this PPT, the recommended books and other materials. Apart from that, you can also ask the questions on our WhatsApp group. If you find any confusion in this lecture, you can obviously ask. You are welcome to ask the questions in our WhatsApp group. All right, so let's start. Internet and World Wide Web. Now the very first question which arises, that which came first, Internet and or www? अंडा पहले आया था या मुर्गी? The question of egg and chicken is, although I don't know, it is unsolved, but obviously this question is much easier than the question of egg and chicken. There is Internet and www. Firstly, we will differentiate between Internet and www, and then we will be able to find out that which came first, either Internet or www. So firstly, see what is Internet. As you know, Internet is a network. That is why the word net is there. Net is what? Network. Now, what is network? Network is the collection of computers and other devices. And why we form a network? In order to share the resources. Okay. In order to share the resources, a network is created. Now, Internet is a network of networks. Internet is a network of networks. It's a huge collection of networks all over the world. Okay. This is nowadays a public network. We will see the history, how it's originated, how it expanded. Obviously we will see this in this lecture, but firstly let's understand that what is internet. So it's a network, and you know, network is the collection of computers and other devices like mobile phones, that is handheld devices like tablets and servers and PCs, so many other devices. And internet is the network of networks in all over the world. Now come to www. www is a world wide web, a web which is found worldwide, means across the globe. So what is web? Web may be defined as the collection of web pages. Collection of web pages. Like you can say the website. Okay, roughly you can call it a website. You can have your own website. As I remember, I developed my first website when I was undergrad student. Rafaqat, I guess it was rafaqat-hussain.netforms.com. So this was my own website. So a hobbyist can have his or her own website which may contain his information, maybe his CV, maybe his hobbies and other stuff. Apart from individual, a company can have their own website as well, and nowadays almost all the popular companies have their own official websites. A company may have their website in order to sell their products. It can contain the information about their products, like an individual have their website to display their information. A company may have their websites to show their information, or there may be many other purposes. But a website is what? Collection of web pages. But now there are millions or billions of websites in all over the world. Now these all websites are what? The collection of websites which we can call the World Wide Web. World Wide Web, which contains the huge number of websites, huge number of web pages which are interconnected with each other. Now these web pages contains what? These web pages contains information. Like I said, the information may be about an individual, the information about a company's product, and so on. So the web pages contain information, and these web pages can be interconnected with each other within the website or outside the web, other websites, with other websites, right? Now these web pages can be transferred from one machine to another machine, from one computer to another computer, from a server to a client. All right, all these are what? Computers. So these web pages can be transferred from one computer to another computer. How they can be transferred? They can be obviously transferred by using some medium, maybe wireless medium or wired medium, but by using what? A network or internet. Okay, so these web pages which contain information, these are the source of information. They can be transferred by means of a network, by means of internet. Okay, so I think now you understand what is internet and what is the World Wide Web. Okay, internet is the collection of networks, a huge network of networks, and network is the collection of devices to share the resources, and the resources are web pages which are contained in the websites in www. So these web pages can be transferred from one place to another place, from one computer to another computer by means of network or the internet. Okay, so now you can differentiate between internet and the www. So again the same question, which came first, internet or www? Obviously internet. Why? Because these web pages can only be transferred from one place to another place when you have a network. Without network you cannot transfer these web pages from your machine to another machine. Obviously you can develop these web pages on your machine offline, on an individual machine, but you cannot transfer them, which is the basic purpose of internet or network, that is a communication. So you cannot communicate without network or internet. So obviously internet was developed first and these web pages were developed later to be transferred from one machine to another machine. Hope you got the concept. So what is internet? Internet is a network of interconnected computers that is now global. We have already discussed that it's the network of networks, and network is what? Interconnected computers. Network is what? Interconnected computers. So internet is a network of networks or interconnected computers which are found in all over the world in the globe. Okay, now when internet was born, it was born in 1969. Okay, but that was not across the world. It was only within USA and only within few universities of USA. That is the UCLA, Stanford University, UCSP and University of Utah. These universities were connected with each other in order to share the resources. Why these universities were connected? Because many researchers and scientists, professors, they were working in these universities, and USA thought to connect all these genius people in order to share the resources, in order to share the ideas, so that they can excel in the field of research. Because this was the period, 1969 was the period of supremacy of Soviet Union. In order to overcome the supremacy of Soviet Union, USA thought about work in the field of research in order to compete with them. Okay, because Soviet Union had already landed on the moon in those days, and they proved their supremacy as a superpower in all over the world. So in order to compete with USA, with Soviet Union, USA thought to excel in the field of research. Okay, so they created this network that is called ARPANET, Advanced Research Project Agencies Network, was established in 1969. That was nothing but the collection of computers. Computers were, which type of computers were there in those days? in those universities, they were basically mainframe computers which were connected with each other from one state to another state within the states, and the big universities of those states were connected with each other with the help of this ARPANET. Okay. We will come back to ARPANET, but let's see again what is internet. Another definition: the largest network of networks in the world. Obviously, there are so many networks: local area networks, wide area networks, wireless and wired networks, so many personal networks and public networks. But the largest network of the world is internet. So you can also call internet as the largest network of the world. The network of networks all over the world, which is public nowadays. Now, internet uses TCP/IP protocols and packet switching. Now, what is TCP/IP? These are protocols, and TCP is an abbreviation of Transmission Control Protocol. IP stands for Internet Protocol. Now, TCP/IP are the protocols. Firstly, what is protocol? Protocol is a set of rules. Why we need set of rules for communication? Let me give you an example. For example, let's consider it an on-campus class. I mean, not online, but on-campus class, like we have conducted in the classes. When I am speaking, if more than one student or even a single student speaks, can you understand me? Obviously, no. There will be noise. And if more than one student speaks at a time while asking the question, can I understand? No. Obviously, there will be noise. So we set some protocols, we set some rules. While I am speaking, while I am delivering the lecture, you are supposed to listen. And if you have a question, you can raise your hands, and then I will pause and I will let you ask the question, but one by one. So this is one sort of protocol. Similarly, on the internet, we need some protocols, we need some rules for communication. TCP/IP is one of them. TCP/IP basically is a glue which connects the internet. Okay. And then packet switching. Packet switching, what is packet switching? Basically, whatever type of data you download or upload on the internet, it is transmitted in the form of packets. Now, what is packet? Packets are fixed size chunks which contain some information like the contents of the message, the sender's information, the receiver's information, and some other parts of it are there. But these are usually the fixed size packets which are sent from one place to another place, from one machine to another machine, and at the destination these packets are rearranged, reassembled in order to understand the message. Okay, this is bit about TCP/IP and packet switching. Obviously, we will talk about these protocols more in our later classes. So now internet runs on some communication substrates. It runs on some communication channels or surfaces or layers. Okay, there are number of layers. Obviously, we will talk about them as well. So that was a little bit about internet. Although the topic of today is internet, But we will also see that internet was run on which type of computers. Obviously, in those days, in late 1960s and in early 1970s, computers were not like the computers which we have now. Obviously, there were no PCs in the late 1960s and early 1970s. There was no personal computers. Mainly, the computers were large mainframe computers. As I mentioned earlier, ARPANET consisted of the mainframe computers in different universities of different states of USA. But in mid 1970s, initial personal computers were developed. Altair was one of them. As you can see in the picture on the right of this slide, a box with blinking lights. This was one of the initial personal computers, initial PC. And in late 1970s, Apple introduced its first usable PC, that was Apple II. This was the first usable PC introduced by Apple. Okay, coming back to the internet of 1970s, not the internet which we have now, but the internet of 1970s. By looking at these slides, you will understand that how internet evolved. The internet which we have now, it was not like that in 1970s, but things were developed, technologies were developed and evolved day by day. In 1970s, Telnet developed as a way to connect to remote computer. Again, Telnet is what? Is a protocol, is a set of rules in order to connect your computer with a remote computer, a computer which is far away from you. Now, how to communicate, how to connect with that computer, you need some protocols, and Telnet was one of them, which was developed in 1972. In the same year, email was introduced. While in late 70s, that is in 1977, Wisconsin was the person who introduced a large email system which had 100 users. Okay, if you compare with this with email system of today, that is Gmail, let's suppose, it has millions of users. But this was a large email system of 1977. It had only 100 users. Okay, ARPANET up to 1973 was not public, but it was owned by the US government, and it was only within USA. But in 1973, ARPANET goes international, means it started expanding across the world. Another protocol, FTP, File Transfer Protocol. This is a protocol to transfer large files from one computer to another computer. This protocol was developed in 1973, and nowadays it is widely used to upload or download your files on the internet. Now come to 1980s, the computers of 1980s. As you know, as internet was evolving, computers were also evolving. So both technologies, computers and internet, or the networks, were evolving day by day, every day. In 1981, IBM introduced their very popular PC. In 1984, Apple Macintosh was introduced, and in 1986 modems were introduced in the PCs as an option. Now, what is modem? Modem is a way to connect your digital computer with the analog world. Okay, more precisely, modems connect your computers with the telephone lines. Initially, your computers, which are the digital devices, they were connected with the analog lines, that is the telephone lines, by means of modems. Okay, so they used to convert your digital signals into analog signals. When you send your data from your PC to the telephone lines to another computer, and on the destination the reverse process occurred, that is the analog signals again converted into digital signals in order to be transferred in the computers so that computers can understand. So modems were introduced in 1986. In 1980s, few more developments happened in internet. Domain name servers were introduced. DNS or domain name servers were introduced in 1984. Domain name servers actually allow the naming of host. Instead of the numbers or long numerics, you can have the alphabetical characters which are more easy to understand. If you see a numeric or IP address in form of numbers, there is maybe 192.168.12.18 for instance. It is very hard for you to understand, very hard for you to remember rather. But instead, if you have a DNS domain name given by the domain name server, it is very easy to remember. For example, www.salu.edu.pk. This is very easy to understand. So these domain name servers which allow naming of hosts instead of numerics, they were introduced in 1984. In 1986, NSF net was created. National Science Foundation Network was created in USA, which became the backbone of internet in 1990s. And the actual network, that is ARPANET, it was decommissioned. Okay, it was replaced by NSF net, National Science Foundation Network. And in 1995, NSF net was completely privatized. Initially, it has only speed of 56 kbps, which increased rapidly every year. Okay, this is the timeline of internet. As you can see, we have discussed ARPANET, introduced in 1969, then TCP/IP, and then some other networks were introduced, some protocols were introduced, and as you can see in the green color, that operational networks on internet increased every day from 3 in 1969 to 50,000 in 1996. So from 3 to 50,000 operational networks were there in 1996. So it increased exponentially. In 1990s, two big milestones were achieved in the field of internet. One was the World Wide Web and other was the web browser. Tim Berners-Lee was a gentleman who wrote a book on a title Weaving the Web, which introduced the World Wide Web. He was working in a physics lab in Europe. He was a programmer in a lab which is very popular lab, CERN or CERN. So he introduced World Wide Web. This was the first biggest milestone which was achieved in 1991. And in 1993, another big milestone was achieved by a graduate student of a university of Illinois who introduced Mosaic, which was then obtained by the Netscape Navigator. This was the first point and click browser. First point and you can point out on any location on the screen and click on that, and that's how you are done. You can move from one location to another location on the internet. So things became very easy. So Mosaic was then developed or obtained by Netscape Navigator. Alright, so this was another milestone. A point and click browser, that is Mosaic, was designed by a university student. So two milestones were achieved in 1990s. So let's see again about World Wide Web. We have very briefly discussed in the very first slide, but let's see again. So what is World Wide Web? Using internet, via internet, computers can contact each other. Computers can contact each other. Without World Wide Web, how can computers can contact with each other? Think about that. So by using www, computers can contact each other via internet. Public files can be read by remote users by using a certain language like HTML, hypertext markup language. This is a language which is used to develop the web pages, and these web pages can be hosted on some machines, and these can be read by remote users by using World Wide Web through internet. Another term which we use is called URL, Universal Resource Locator, is name of a file on remote computer. Name of a file on a remote computer. As you can see, for example, http://salu.edu.pk. This is basically domain name. Sites, departments, these are basically the folders and subfolders. And department pages.aspx, this is the file name, DEPT pages, and the extension is ASP. It means it's created using active server pages. So this is the file, sites and departments are the folders, and salu.edu.pk is a domain name, the domain name given to a website. Another term which we used here in URL, the first part was HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. As you may recall, that protocol is a set of rules. So obviously it's a set of rules. It is used by the World Wide Web, and HTTP servers, which are widely known as web servers. Now web servers receive HTTP type requests and send HTTP type response and they send the data in form of packets. So this is a set of rules to send and receive data on the internet, okay, in the form of packets. Now come to web browsers. Web browsers, as you know, these are the software uh, which are used to browse on the internet, to navigate on the internet. Mosaic was first point and click browser, as we have already mentioned in the previous slides. It was introduced in 1993. So these are the softwares which are used to navigate on the web pages. Other web browsers are Netscape Navigator, Internet Explorer. These are the most popular, but there are others as well, like Google Chrome nowadays is a very popular. Opera Mini, I remember, was a very popular browser used in the mobile phones. Microsoft had their own Internet Explorer, which is very popular, which remained very popular in the market. So these are few web browsers which are used to navigate on the internet. So the state of computers in 1990s, coming back to the computers again, how the computers were in 1990s. In 1990s, a big milestone was achieved when Windows 95 was introduced. It was a GUI based Windows. GUI means graphical user interface based Windows. You can point on an icon and click, and the command is done. Instead of writing the commands, as you remember, in old days, command line interpreters were used to give commands to the computers. Now command line interpreters like DOS, disk operating system by Microsoft, in that type of operating system, users had to remember all the commands, but the life was very difficult for the users. But in GUI based, where you can simply click on the icons, point and click, the life became easy. Windows 95 was one of them. It became very popular. So in 1990s, not only Windows 95 was introduced, but other achievements like internet with AOL option and other options were introduced. AOL was introduced by USA, America Online, for the US citizens to get the internet services. And because of Windows 95 and PCs and services like AOL given by the USA, the home PCs increased in a huge number in 1990s, and computers became available on almost every desk in the offices or in the workplaces. This is one of the example. We have already seen one example that was of URL. This is another example. Here you can see the first part is HTTP, as you see, is a protocol, and the second part is www.msu.edu is a domain name. Domain name is not what? Name of a remote computer, like salu.edu.pk is a name of a remote computer. And then URQ/UHAR5/tour, these are the folders and subfolders. And active.html is an HTML file which is available on this MSU computer. Okay, these are the internet growth trends. Uh, as you can see, from 1977 to 2002, how the hosts on the internet increased. This is a huge number of increment. As you can see, from 111 to 200 million hosts. In 1977, there were only 111 hosts on the internet. In 1981, 213. In 1983, 562. In 1984, 1000. 1986, 5000. 1987, 10,000. And 1989, 100,000. And so on. So it increased in a huge number. From 1990s, it increased in a huge number, from 1 million to 150 million to 200 millions, because of the new technologies that we mentioned, like internet in form of AOL, high speed of internet, and due to PCs and due to better web browsers, number of hosts were increased tremendously from 1977 to 2002. This is uh, the statistics by September 2002, uh, from hosts to users. You can see in September 2002, there were 200 million IP hosts, Internet Protocol hosts, and more than 800 million users in 2002. Now, these are the pioneers in the field of internet. We have mentioned about Tim Berners-Lee, and if you are interested with other gentlemen, they had big contributions in the field of internet. You can also search them as well. And up to now, I think it's the end of the lecture. I will repeat. If you have any questions in this lecture, you can post your questions in our official WhatsApp group. I will share the URL of this video in our official WhatsApp group. There are different groups for different classes for CS and IT. You can contact with your CRs in order to join the groups and get all the resources. Thank you very much.